Hello, IWG attendants and virtual participants. My name is Ytannia the coordinator of the Aganar program in Barbados. My co-presenter, Dr. Laura Cousins, is in Barbados, and as such, we're going to allow the photos from the program tell the story of the Skills for the Future program in Barbados. So to give you some context, despite the increased economic development in Latin America and the Caribbean since the early 2000s, inequalities and discriminatory social institutions continue to constrain our women and girls. Social norms and practices rooted in patriarchal models continue to create disproportionate expectations for women, resulting in reduced levels of employment. In Barbados context, however, the Aganar program ran through a period of consistently high unemployment on our island. In the secondary school, there was a rise in low academic performances and low participation in the regional CXC examinations. The girls selected for our program were those who were at risk of dropping out or being asked to leave school. These were the girls who were not going to take any qualification exams upon leaving school, and the majority of them had continual behavioral problems in their classrooms. Enter the Aganar program. This program focused on youth that were still in secondary school while maintaining the goal of positively impacting youth employment experiences and engaging our youth through sports. The program enhanced opportunities for girls by ensuring that high school students and post-secondary institutions had the academic, technical, and life skills necessary to enter the labor market or continue further education. The Aganar program expanded opportunities for demand-driven training and skill certification. Our presentation here today seeks to highlight the outcomes of the Aganar Skills for the Future program on 410 girls from 9 secondary schools, 2 post-secondary institutions, and the Juvenile Correctional Facility for girls who were sentenced by the judicial system of Barbados. The emphasis of the program was on improving the quality and relevance of secondary education and the effectiveness of technical and vocational education and training for students who were on track for leaving the educational system without any qualifications. One of the major aspects of the 4 phases in the Aganar program was skill development. This was done in phase 1, where the skills for our youth were honed through orientation events, workshops, and collaborative sports days. The diversity of the training provided enhanced experience and opportunities for the students, which helped them to develop a range of skills and awareness of the expectations of employers in our local job market. To enhance the self-esteem and confidence of our female students, many efforts were undertaken. For example, on a visit to our local partner, the Barbados Olympic Association, it coincided with International Women's Day. So we took the time out to explain the importance of celebrating Women's Day globally, as many of our students have never heard of International Women's Day. After discussing the theme for that year, which is Each for Equal, and highlighting the incredible contributions of women in sports and the concept of advocating for a gender equal world, the girls vowed to challenge the biases and stereotypes that affected them. They eagerly strike the pose, Each for Equal. They were really talented girls. The Aganar intervention rebuilt this trust between students and teachers, which ultimately improved the school climate and reduced disciplinary referrals of the girls in the program. The team building exercises and activities gave the girls the skills they needed. They helped the girls learn more about themselves and one another and build trust and learn to cooperate in different ways. By the end of the final year of the program, the component saw us working with 51 businesses and 7 governmental agencies and NGOs across the island. As the name recognition of the Aganar program grew, the response from corporate partners continued to be favorable and employees invested in the youth at an increasing level. Many companies gave youth additional funds for their internships, and a number extended the students' participation past the required hours. These were real results. And I'm going to hand you over to my co-presenter, Dr. Cousins, to walk you through what the results were of the program.
Thanks very much, Ytannia. I'm really excited just to share a little bit about the Phase 3 internship portion of the Aganar program. So of interest, the environment, as was explained earlier, meant that there were a lot of environmental and cultural barriers and stereotypes that really shaped the types of placements that were available to the female students, as some of the companies were not willing to accept female candidates. The data above provides an overview of the selection outcome of the placements. With 92% of the female students completing their placements, this suggests a very positive overall result. The sport federations, such as the Barbados Orienteering Federation, Rugby Barbados, and the Barbados Olympic Association, were key contributors to the Aganar program. These organizations, in turn and together, challenge the students to reflect on skills they developed through various aspects of the program. Facilitated peer interaction among the students from the different schools was recognized as a real highlight by the students. It also integrated students from across the local community. These programs also enable the students to hone and demonstrate leadership and teamwork skills. Over the next few slides, we'll discuss the quantitative and qualitative outcomes. The results indicated an increase in the rates of employment and graduation among the girls in the program. 41% of the students returned to school, 18% secured employment, often from the actual organization where they were completing their internship. None of the students decided to start their own business. Now, there was a funding option that was available to the students, but you can see for high school students, that would be a big challenge to undertake. 31% of the students were, quote, not attached, meaning that at the point that this data was gathered, they hadn't decided whether they were going to continue on in their employment opportunity or return back to school. And for 10% of the students, the data wasn't available. So the quote that you see on the screen is from a young woman who we've named Avril. That's not her real name. And it's a particularly powerful quote, especially when we read what Avril's teacher says about her. So this is the quote from Avril's teacher. Initially, she was reluctant to speak in class and was frequently abrupt in her approach. However, she progressed steadily throughout the program to become one of the more vocal and engaged participants in her group. Through the various sport programs integrated into the Aganar program, such as the fun days and the right to play photo day, relay races, obstacle courses, balance activities. They had to do a wall climbing activity and another one balancing on a log. So these really facilitated and encouraged the students where they were, motivated to continue on with the challenge, despite some of them maybe faltering and having to try more than once. This quote highlights the multidimensional components of the Aganar program. In addition to the job skills training, personal development through sport, and showcasing career opportunities through the tours, workshops, the program sought to instill a sense of self-respect for oneself and others and resilience among the students. It's now time to return the presentation back to Ytannia for our concluding remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Cousins. In conclusion, we just want to say that the Aganar program impacted the female students and their community. This program became a viable presence on the island due to students' involvement in community service and various vocational jobs, the extensive partnerships with businesses and sports organizations, and the coverage of the program by the local media. The Phase 3 internships had the most impact as the internship placements provided the female students with the real-world experiences that they needed. The placements enable them to understand the importance of gaining certification to enhance future job prospects. Aganar provided the girls with a better understanding of their capabilities and what they needed to improve while enhancing their self-esteem.